South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson joins me now. Alan, welcome. Good to have you back on the program today. Thank you for being here. We have really covered every aspect of this case over the last few years. What was your reaction to this news, and how do you proceed in a retrial now, or a new trial for Alex Murdaugh?
Well, obviously, we are disappointed in the court's decision. We respect this court. We respect the members of the court, but we strongly disagree with their reasoning. But this is how the process is supposed to play out. They get to be the final arbiter and adjudicate these types of cases. And as we said in our release earlier today, we plan to retry this case. We plan to seek a speedy trial. We're obviously evaluating all of our options right now. But I think you've already done a great job of showcasing what the court based its decision on. It was the conduct of the clerk of court, and hopefully that conduct will never happen again. It's also important to note, Martha, that Mr. Murdaugh is not being released from prison. Our office secured a number of convictions against him for his financial crimes, and he's going to be serving several decades in prison, up to 27 years in state prison, as well as up to 40 years in federal prison. So we have time to try him again.
Yeah, he's in his late 50s now, as I understand it, and the likelihood that he will be in prison for the rest of his life, regardless of what happens here, looks fairly solid. Here's Becky Hill. This is call for number 2 in a Fox Nation special about this case, talking about how she saw her role. Here she is.
As the clerk of court, I tend to be more like a Switzerland in dealing with everyone. I take no sides, and I have to be accommodating to everyone in the courtroom, no matter what side you're on. Our jurors knew that part of their job was to perceive the defendant as being innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, but that is not what some of the jurors said. Let's play number 4 in the interview that I did with jurors who felt that she manipulated them during the process.
So what you're all suggesting, is that Becky Hill was manipulating this jury to make sure that Alex Murdaugh was found guilty. Correct? Do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you believe that?
I do.
Do you believe that, Joe?
You know, I know Becky Hill only through this trial. I like her personally. I don't know whether she had this grand scheme. We know now that she was writing a book. Maybe she saw a guilty verdict as more profitable than a not guilty. But whether she is genuinely the wizard behind the curtain in all of this, I don't think anyone knows that.
So to be fair, Alan, we also interviewed jurors who said that that was not the case, that they did not feel manipulated. Now, obviously, the court has listened to both of these sides, and they have decided that she did. You know, go at the point during the trial, did you ever have any concerns about Becky Hill and her conduct as, the clerk of court, and that she was sort of overly exuberant? She said, "Oh, this is the biggest thing since OJ." Did you pick up on any of that at the time? Did you ever think about removing her?
No, we obviously weren't aware of any of this conduct until after, obviously, it had occurred. We learned about it later, and obviously, when motions were made by the defense for a retrial based on this conduct, we reviewed the evidence, and our office came to the conclusion that while her conduct was obviously inappropriate, and we do not condone that, we believed it to be harmless. And we made that point to the post-trial judge, who was a former member of the state Supreme Court. That judge reviewed this case and agreed with us at that station. Of course, the Supreme Court obviously came to a different conclusion, but we never defended her conduct. We just believed that it wasn't enough to warrant a reversal. But the Supreme Court went another way.
So we know that the attorneys, Dick Harpootlian and his partner, they immediately started canvassing these jurors and went out to ask them about the process. It's clear that they were looking for a way to find a new avenue to a new trial because they lost this enormous case. Do you have any problems with their conduct and how they acted after the trial and how this worked out?
I mean, like right now, everything that I'm basing my reasoning on and my decision on is what the state Supreme Court has said. At the four corners of that order are what our office is moving forward on. Obviously, we have 90 days to determine whether or not we want to seek an appeal on this. But during that time, we're going to evaluate all courses of action. At the end of the day, I can see us absolutely aggressively pursuing a retrial on these murder charges against Mr. Murdaugh, and hopefully, we'll get that trial teed up before the end of the year. That would be our goal.
What do you say to, the taxpayers in South Carolina? This was a huge, enormous effort that everybody went through, time and energy, and to have to do it again, does that reflect badly on your office, on your team at all?
No, I don't think it does. I mean, as you've just showed in this obviously story, that the conduct of Ms. Hill is to blame here, not the men and women in the Attorney General's office, the members of SLED and other law enforcement agencies that worked for years on this trial. We spent 6 weeks in a hotel prosecuting this in Walterboro, South Carolina. So no, this is not on us. This is on Ms. Hill.
Well, ultimately, he was found guilty, and it's really mostly on Alex Murdaugh. And the reason that this has been overturned has nothing to do with the evidence that was brought forward in this case or how it was determined, but there was a jury issue, and that's a big problem for it. So if we're going to follow the next one if it comes to pass as well. And Alan Wilson, Attorney General, we thank you very much for joining us today, sir. Good to see you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.